Hello everyone, my name is Chelsea and welcome back to my channel. For today's video, I'm checking out a new book app that is going to help you with your arcs. So this new app is not quite out yet. It's in like early access testing, which I did sign up for. And so since the middle of December, I have been putting in my arcs in here and I have not gotten a chance to actually like deep dive into it and test it out. So that is what we're going to be doing today. But this is an app called ShelfControl, which was created by Instabookology over on Instagram. I will leave everything linked down below. The thing about Instabookology on Instagram, like I want to credit them where all credit is due, obviously. I'm pretty sure it is 2 people of color creators. I do not see their names anywhere here, and I could have sworn I saw something when I first signed up for this. I will see if I can find it and put it down in the description, but I will at least leave the Instagram threads, all that kind of stuff. But yes, people of color creators who have created a new book app that is going to be helping you with your arcs. So right now my app has a little dot near the name because you have to actually have like a test flight app in order to even pull this up, because everything is like in early access testing. So this is what the actual app looks like right now. There have actually been a couple changes since I downloaded this the first time, because people are able to tell them what they would like to see or things that are not quite working, and this is what it looks like. The very top of the page has today's date. We are a little bit later. I was hoping to actually start this on the 1st because I have an arc that I need to read. But today is January 2nd. They have today's reading goals. It is stating that my reading goals should be 96 pages today, and that is going to be based on the arcs that I have already put into this system. I currently have 13 total arcs for the whole year of 2026 right now. If things change, we will update that obviously, but so you can actually have it organized by things that you're currently reading. This is the one that I need to read. Things that are past due or paused, to review, things that you've completed, DNF'd, or all. My default is all. I don't know if their default is all. Things, like I said, have changed a little bit. When I first put all of my books in here, they did not sort by date right away. I had to exit the app and then go back in, and then it changed to be sorted by date, because obviously that's what I would want. That's the default I would want, is knowing what things are going to be due first. So as we go in, we're going to go into the book that I do need to read, Tide Speaker. This is by Sadie Turner, and it is due, or coming out, on January 6th. So that is going to be next Tuesday. And right now I have 4 days to read, and I have not read any. Like I said, I wanted to start yesterday. Did not happen, but that's okay. So we have some I'm done reading. I guess like if you just finish it and you want to click that, you can. We have some quick actions. You can go status, due date, back date, edit, and notes. You get to pick when you put your books in here, like how you got it and everything like that. I'll show you that kind of stuff as well. But this is going to be an ebook. I do have it as an e-arc from NetGalley. You put in your current page number, when did you read, you can do quick updates, and it's going to be showing your reading progress. So I'm going to be doing this on the app and showing you guys, checking in every single time I go on this app so we can see how this works with the arcs. You can also put your review, your tags, your important dates. So it says like if you're needing to track cover reveals, blog tours, or more, like if you're on like a street team maybe, this would be a good place to track everything. You can have your saved links. So I don't have any of this filled out yet. I don't know how much I'm going to use. I'm mostly using it to track amount of pages I need to read for due dates. They also have your contacts for the publisher, any disclosure language, like if their publishers say or the authors say that you need to have some specific language, you can put that in here so you can copy paste into reviews and things. And then they have the book details. This you can edit, and it's probably going to be very similar to what when I put a book in it looked like, so you can go in here and figure all that out. However, I do want to also show you, because this is the only stuff we have for this book specifically. If I was going to be adding a new book, you actually come down here to the plus sign, and then you can search for a book. I recently read A Psalm for the Wild Built, which I know is not an arc, but you just sort of take your book and it'll pull it up for you. You could then go into your book details. it will bring it in for you. This is also telling you that the book is part of a series, which is great. It'll have an image, the book title, the author, your status. You can put things in here if you've only applied, if you've been approved, or if you've already started reading. So far, I think all of mine are at approved arcs that I have gotten for sure already and put in here. You can pick your format, physical, ebook, or audio. Then you can select your book type. They actually have things in here for you, and you don't necessarily just have to use this for an arc. They also have things from the library, maybe if you have a due date when it's supposed to be back to the library, personal, or book club. I think a book club would also be good for this because you could then say, oh, this is for a book club, I have to have it due by a certain date. It'll calculate the pages for you. It'll automatically put in the publisher. I think there was one that I had to like update a page number by myself, but it imports everything, and so far it has been very accurate. Same thing with publication date. It has been very accurate with all that kind of stuff. Then you get to pick if the due date is flexible or strict. For all of my ones so far, I have put strict because I put the due date as the publication date. I want to get as close to that date as possible. And then if you're ready to add, you can put that in. I obviously don't need to put that book in, but I like that it imports all that information for you. You're not having to do a lot of importing. I didn't have to do much for any of the arcs that I have here. I think it'll be very interesting as I continue using this to see where I have like 2 books that are due both on February 3rd. Here Lie All the Boys Who Broke My Heart by Emma Zimmerman, as well as Until the Clock Strikes Midnight by Alicia Dow. Like, I think it'd be very intriguing to see how this works with maybe reading one book versus the other and it calculating the pages that you need to read before the due dates. The other thing that it has obviously is a calendar. It'll have an activity calendar. It'll show you your different activity that you put on the dates, but as you see also going to another date, it has the due date and the picture of the book. It'll show you what you have to read. So obviously if I go to February, I have 2 things for February 3rd. They also have this overview here. It'll tell you things that you've done this month or not. I have 3 books to read for February, and they're saying it's going to be tough to do. Again, I'm very curious about going through and seeing how all that stuff works. You can tell I added most of my stuff on the 10th. It doesn't actually show me. Oh, there we go. Added like all this stuff on here. Created it, approved it, all that kind of stuff. So that's when you could see I put in things. It looks like on the 11th I said I was reading it. I don't think you can go back to approved from reading, so I just left it. And then I got approved for one more arc on the 19th, so I did put that in there as well. It looks like we also have stats, which because I haven't read anything, I don't have any stats. So I am very excited to try this out. And like I said, we are going to be going on this journey together, at least while I read Tide Speaker, because I need to read a book, and I'm very excited to see how the stats and the pages that I need to read are going to change. So we're at the point where I'm going to have to go get Presley a haircut, and Elliot has gym class today, but I am going to be starting to read my arc, and we will come back when it's time to do some updates in Shelf Control. Okay everyone, it is the next day. I had a little bit of a headache last night, so I didn't get to come back and actually update you on how Shelf Control did after one reading session, but we're gonna go into that now. I did get to read, and as you can see, we have an update here because they are constantly updating things. I don't know exactly what things are updated or not because I'm not somebody that's had to send in any like information on like, hey, this isn't working or I would like this yet. But as you can see, my Tide Speaker is now a yellow color instead of purple. I don't exactly know what all the colors are. It looks like here it's just because I have a strict schedule for it and we have 3 days left. I do like the fact that you can put in either page number or percentage, and because I am reading the e-arc, I only have the percentage really. The page numbers would be estimated, which is fine. And I read about 16%, about 62 pages yesterday. This is a YA fantasy and the world is very intriguing right now. They have like 2 moons and they have different sort of elemental powers. Not everybody has this, but our main character is a Tide Speaker. She should be able to speak and control water. We also have Mud Speakers, which I'm assuming is Earth. Then they have people that do wind and fire. I think pyro is like a pyro something. So yes, that's the sort of world that we're in. And so now we have reading progress. Yesterday when I put this in, I only had a little dot on the very left side of the graph, we didn't have any of these lines. Now that it's been like another night, we're waking up, it did actually say I had like 30 pages or something like that to hit my goal. And then obviously I went to bed, didn't do that. So now it's saying I need to read 130 pages to catch up, because I think originally it was like 96. I must have been like 34 pages down. So yeah, I like that they give you your estimate on like, this is how many you should read today to catch up to your goal. Obviously, I could read more than 130 today, and then maybe it'll change that as well. We're gonna read more today and we'll see how it looks later. Everything else on this screen should be the same as it was before. This is just the book screen. Then if we go to our calendar, it will have the fact that I read yesterday, read 62 pages. So the color for that is obviously different. I was looking into this calendar a little bit. We have this like menu up at the top that is 3 lines that you can click. It'll tell you the different colors and what they mean, but you can also pick a different way to display your calendar. So right now we have activity dots. You could also click it to show book covers instead. So now it'll show you when the books are due. So obviously the 6th is Tidekeeper, and then I have a book due on the 20th and a book due on the 27th. But it's also showing that when I read on the 2nd, here it is. I'm still clicking on the 2nd, so it is still showing that it's 62 pages. I think there's also one more where you can hide the date on the covers as well as show the book covers. So instead of seeing the date, you just see the cover, which I think I like that. However, I do have some other months, I think in February, where technically I have 2 books due on February 3rd, but it's only showing 1 cover. So for that, I think I would prefer potentially showing the dots, so I can tell that there's 2 versus 1. However, also when I go onto our main page here as well, I will see that there are 2 books with the exact same amount of days until it's due, so I would know that we have that. But yeah, so currently it is saying today's goals, I should read 108 pages. So again, I think they sort of took the difference of what I did yesterday minus what I should have done, and they're re-evaluating it for me, which again, I really, really like. So as we can see here, Tidespeaker, it is saying 108 pages a day. So instead of being 96 like it was before every day, now it's 108. But if I wanted to catch up to that original 96, it is showing I should read 130 pages today. So I like that you could really do either one. I could either try and really get to 130 pages a day, get back on that original track, or I could do 108, and they redid that for me so that all I have to do until the book is due is read 108. I am also curious, it says I have 3 days left, and my hard, strict, like, date was January 6th. So it says I have 3 days left, but are they counting January 6th as being read? So basically, if I had 108 for today, which is the 3rd, 108 for the 4th, and 108 for the 5th, yes, plus what I read already. So yeah, that was something that I wasn't thinking about, but that makes sense. Today is the 3rd, so we actually have like today to read, the 4th and the 5th. They are counting it as that 6th, the day it's due. There is no extra reading to be done that day, which is good. For me personally, I would like to be done before that date, but at the same time, if for some reason I got a little bit behind, I like having like, oh, I technically could finish it that morning or something before I need to put stuff out. So yeah, I really like that. So I have 3 days left to read Tidespeaker. We are going to be reading more Tidespeaker today. I will come back and like update how our graph is going, how our calendar is going. If it has any other updates up here, maybe. I really like this app. I think this is a really, really good thing. I can't wait till this comes out wide, but I did want to show you guys what we're doing. Okay, everyone, we are back for another day. I did not have a chance to come and show you last night what the app looked like, but I did take a screen grab of it. So we are going to talk about like what it looked like last night when I was done reading. As you'll be able to see, I took the screen grabs of these at like 11:30 last night. So I finished my reading. I was definitely going to bed, and it said, amazing, I read 11 more pages than I needed to read yesterday. I read 119 pages. Now, that was not enough to catch up for what I did not read the day before, but they had adjusted the pages that I needed to read, remember? Where I needed to read like 108 pages for the next, what, 3 days, I think it was? Because what was yesterday? Saturday, Sunday, Monday? Yeah, so that we could finish by Tuesday. I hit more than that. I did 11 more. So when we go to the next page with the graph, it said I still needed 11 pages to catch up to the projected total from when I first started reading. So even though I read 11 more pages than I needed to yesterday, I'm still 11 pages behind what it would have been if I had done the appropriate amount of reading the night before. But I like that they had both options. I had the option for either one. Now we're gonna go into shelf control for today with another update available. Okay, so now we are officially at 2 days left of Tidespeaker. I've already started reading today, but I have not logged anything yet. It is now saying I need to read 102 pages for the next 2 days in order to finish this book. Again, really appreciating the changes every day when we come into this new. And so we're gonna go into Tidespeaker again. I'm at 47% actually as of right now. I can show you guys. I'm at 55%. I've done a little bit of reading today, but we can see they've already updated my chart. If I want to catch up to what I was originally supposed to be doing, I do need to read 107 pages today, but I like that they have this here. One other thing that I have discovered is they have progress or daily pages. So you can then see in individual pages. So like the first day I read a little under 75, I think it was like 60 something. Yesterday I obviously read between 75 and 150. I think it was like 100 and something. We just looked at that, but I like that you can switch back and forth. I think I particularly like the progress bar better because it tells you how many pages to catch up and stuff, whereas the daily pages just show you like which days you read the most. But it's good to have. I like that they have both of those on there. And I think that's about all we have. Oh, we can actually go into stats now. This was not something that was there before because I had not done anything yet. Obviously, no books finish yet this year. Daily reading, you have read 181 pages over 2 reading days. I like that. Your reading pace is 91 pages a day. That I do find interesting only because I use Bookly as a different app for when I'm actively reading, and it'll usually tell me how long it's going to take to finish a book. So on my thing here, my book page on my phone, up here on the top right corner, this is my Bookly widget, which I actually have specifically to show up with the last book that I was reading, and it'll tell me how long I have left to finish the book. So as of this morning when I first started reading, because I'm still in the middle of a reading session, I stopped for lunch, I'm gonna take 2 hours and 48 minutes to read. So I really like that fact. We do have format distribution. All of my ARCs are ebooks that I have right now, so like that probably won't change too much. But then it will also tell you the days you read the most. I'm very, again, curious to see how these stats are gonna change over time, but we do have that. And then the only other thing is our calendar still, and this will update with like the different pages you read. Again, I'm very happy with this app so far. Again, we're testing it. This is not something that is out yet, but I'm gonna be so happy when it is. Again, I'll probably keep this specifically for books that I'm going to have a deadline for, you know, ARCs or book clubs maybe. I mean, they have lots of different ways you can use this, but I like the way that they're going into it. Not all of my reading obviously needs to be timed, where it's like I have to finish this book by a certain date, but I like that it does adjust for the date that you set based on how you're reading it. So like I said, I'm gonna be reading more today, and actually now that I'm thinking about it, I was in the middle of a session before lunch and then we had lunch, and now I'm gonna be editing soon. So I think what I'm going to do is actually log on camera for you guys what this looks like, since we actually haven't done that on camera yet. So like I said, I'm right around 55%. It could be closer to 56. So usually when I'm doing my Bookly app, I will round up a percent because I've noticed that if I don't round up, the page numbers are actually off. So I am gonna be putting in my Shelf Control app 56%, but here, let's take a look and see. I will go down here. We're in Tidespeaker, and I'm gonna say 50. Can I go back? Yes. Not 500%, 56% now. I'm gonna update that. So I've been updated to 216, that must be the page number we're on. And then I think, if we go back here, yeah, so right now it is saying I need to read 84 pages per day. So that would be like another 84 today, another 84 tomorrow as it's updated. I've only read 35 pages today out of the 102 I should read. I like that they tell you you should read 67 more. And then I think if we go down, yeah, they'll have updated my chart as well. I need to read 72 more pages to catch up. I will obviously be reading more. We will check back in tomorrow. But I do like that fact. I really am enjoying this app. Like I said, I do have to do some editing and things, so that's why we're gonna leave it here for now. But I'm very excited to see what else we're going to have done with this app. And so for now, we're gonna pause. I will come back to you until we're done. So probably tomorrow and then Tuesday when like everything should be done. We'll see how it looks like when the book is finished as well. I will read more, but that's it for now. Good morning, everyone. It is Monday and I finished Tide Speaker last night. I was fully intending to only get to like 75% or so because obviously we started with like 4 days left. Should have been reading about 25% each time. And we got to a point where I think I was over 75%. It was getting close to like I should go to bed. And yet the action really picked up. And so when I like double checked at like 80-something% when I was like, oh, I should probably go to bed, but there's action, I had like 40 minutes left in the book. So I just was like, you know what? We're doing it. I finished it last night. So that also means I went into ShelfControl last night and logged that I finished the book. I did screen record it. So I'm gonna pull that up. We're gonna go through it. Because yeah, I definitely did that. So the first thing that I did was go in and I clicked I'm done reading. You had the option to say yes, I'm finished, or I'm DNFing. I clicked yes, I finished. And then we had this cute little graphic. It told you how many days I read. Obviously that wasn't true. I didn't start in December. I did rate it. It was being a little finicky. I rated it 4 stars. You could put your thoughts there. I decided to skip that part. And then I said, yes, I do need to post reviews. They're gonna help you track. This was something I've never seen before because I have not gotten there yet. You can say you have a due date. You can pick what due date you want. Mine was obviously when the book is coming out. I'll probably write the reviews today. And then you're gonna pick where you wanna post them. I picked NetGalley and Goodreads. And then they had other options. You could probably add, yeah, you can add other platforms as well. And then you'll say, do you need to submit URLs? I always end up submitting my URLs to the NetGalley, so I said, yes, I will do that. And then again, you still have book thoughts. That is optional. And then now we are officially completed. So I'm now gonna bring us up to what it looks like today. So popping into ShelfControl, again, another update. I think I had another one of those last night as well. Reload. We have no reading goals for today. I think that's because I don't have any of my next books as currently reading. But as you can see here, Elliot is with me being a little loud. We still have all of my books. Now that I finished Tide Speaker, it is actually all the way at the bottom. And so in my different categories that we can pick here, it is actually now under to review. And so if I go into Tide Speaker, it is now going to have the reviews like and where I need to post them, so I could say, oh, I marked it as post. I'm not doing that yet. I need to actually like sit down and write my review, but I like that they have that in there. They have finished reading, completed it in 25 days because I marked it as reading way earlier than I should have. I was trying to like get a feel for this, but I did read 384 pages in 3 days, averaged about 128 pages a day. I really, again, like that we have our reading progress on here. So again, you can see what the required number of pages were per day, and you can see what I actually did, and you can see I obviously finished it last night. I read a lot more that way. You can also see with the different daily pages. I also do find, I don't know if it's just me, probably not, but I do find like the second half of a book, usually I want to speed through it much quicker than the first half. Like I get into it. So that does not surprise me. Again, we have my review, and then all the other stuff is the same. I will say this was not intended to be a review of the book video, but I am giving it 4 stars for this book. And for the summary that it was given to us, we basically go into it knowing that our main character is Korith, and she is a floodmouth, and she is being posted to this place. Like, they train their elemental people and then give them a job listing based on their abilities and things like that. And she's going to like one of the better job offers. In the summary, it actually mentions that like she's excited about this job offer. She's like ready to go. And then when she gets there, she's told that like her predecessor there has like died and nobody knows why, sort of thing. Like, she drowned. The thing is, like, when you first go into the book, she's told about her predecessor before she gets the job posting. She's not excited about the job posting. And then the summary also mentions that one of the younger sons in this family, it's sort of like a noble family, and she's obviously not, more like a servant sort of thing, is intriguing and mysterious, and potentially there's something more there. He's barely mentioned in the first like 60-70% of the book, and not in a way where you would assume romance or anything. So I feel like the expectations I had going into this book did not quite live up to what the actual book was. Now, if you like fantasy, like political fantasy, they did have elemental magic and they definitely use that. But political fantasy stuff that's talking about like the lower castes in society and the upper castes in society and political machinations from there, I think that stuff really lived up to it. And like I said, by the time I got to like 75-80%, it really ramped up. Like, not even just by then, that was when I was originally planning on stopping, and I couldn't stop because we were already in the midst of so much stuff. So I am giving it a 4-star. I think it was written well. I think the story was interesting. I don't think the summary served the story like it should have. So 4 stars. Like I said, this was not intended to be that. But now we have the calendar. We can see I had different updates from my reading yesterday. On the 6th, it's now green because they are to review. I do not have any more reading to do. I just need to update that. And then we have a new chart section, a reading statistics. This was nothing there earlier because I had not finished anything. It is interesting that they have books finished this year, no completed books. Maybe it's because I still have to review it technically. I guess if you're doing like a book club or something, you didn't have to review it. You could probably say no, because I think there was an option for, no, I don't have to do any reviews. That probably would have populated automatically, but I do have like my daily reading. I read 384 pages over 3 days. My reading pace based on the days is 128 pages a day. Again, I don't know if we saw this before or not, but I like this because I do use other apps. I use my Bookly app to track my reading speed and pages. So it'll tell me like how long I can reasonably expect to finish a book based on my speed and pages. So like if my normal average is like 94 pages an hour, it'll be able to tell me like this 300-page book, I should be able to finish in about 3 hours. This one tells me my reading pages per day, like an average, which obviously will change a lot just depending on how I read, but I find it interesting to see that because I don't really have any other apps that track my actual, like, this is how many pages you've read per day. So that's intriguing. Format distribution, 13. Okay, that's just all of my books are ebooks. But then we have the days that you read the most. Sunday I read the most, then followed Saturday and Friday. That's all I've read, but it'll change it based on your activity over 21 days. So I'll be intrigued to see how that kind of stuff changes as well. And I think that's about it for now. I really do like this app. I definitely need to go add my reviews in. Once I do that, I do think we will check in one more time to see what this looks like after, like when my reviews are all done. But the next book that I need to read is Next Level Love by Shamiz Patel, which is not due until January 20th. If I decided to start reading it now, it actually does say that I would have to read 26 pages a day, which is way doable and not really something that I want to do personally. I'm gonna be reading some other things as well in the meantime, but like I don't know if I would want to be that person that's like, oh, let me just read 26 pages a day until this book is due. So I'll probably wait a little bit until I start on the next one, but I do like that. And like if I decided to read all of my January books, like if I wanted to put Next Level Love and Last First Kiss on there, I'm pretty sure my reading goals would update to say that I need to read 26 pages and 16 pages, so like 42 pages per day to hit my goals. Like, I'm pretty sure they would do that. But again, since I'm not actually ready to read those yet, I'm not gonna do that. But again, really, really excited about this app. I'm gonna be going to write my reviews now so I can come back to you guys. I'm gonna probably write them and post them right now so I don't forget, especially since one of my goals for this year is to try and review all of the books on all of like the apps and trackers and websites and things. And I did do a short review for the first book I read, which was not this. This is my second book of the year. But I haven't written anything down for this one yet because it's an actual arc and I need to put a little bit more thought into it. So I'm gonna be going to do that. Okay, we're back. It's been a little while. I did some work planning videos and things, and then I actually wrote my reviews and never came back to you guys. So we are now going to go back into Shelf Control so we can update that I did that. Again, another update. Not mad at that. That means they're taking people's opinions and things into consideration. I have no idea what the actual updates have. Oh, well, now we have something. Okay, so for this version, they will release notes on the app. I don't know what modal show on app start with changes means, but okay. Review links now have a copy all button. Okay, you can now slide your finger across stars to rate books faster. That's pretty good. And then they have You Belong With Me, Control Z, Control Z, Control Z. Countdown on applied arcs can be turned off or on. Okay, interesting. Progress updates are now faster and more fun. Filter button shows number of active filters. Reading stats now show days count instead of reading sessions. Okay, things that I probably would never have really noticed, but it is in there. So again, let's go down to review. Okay, going in here, I have definitely done both of these. You can paste your URLs into here if you want. I do not need to do any of that really. I'm just gonna mark all as complete and move to complete, it looks like. All reviews have been tracked. Everything else looks pretty much the same, so I think now, here it is, completed right here. We have a little trophy there, which is very nice, but so that has now been officially moved and completed. I think now we will have a book in our reading statistics saying completed. Everything else looks like it should be the same, but now something is completed. I will eventually, like I said, be starting my next book, but I think that's where we're gonna end it for today. Okay, so I'm actually editing the video right now. It's been a little while. I was intending to have this video up a little bit earlier, but then we had a lot of end of the year content that I needed to have done. So I did want to stop in though and let you know what my Shelf Control app looks like right now, because I did finish Next Level Love. Today is the 21st. Yes, so it's been a little while, like I said, but I have marked Last First Kiss by Julian Winters as reading, which is why it's now yellow instead of purple. I did not start reading that yet because we have just under a week now. 59 pages a day is what I would need to do. I do think that's going to be like my next read after I finish the book I'm currently reading, which has like a couple hours left. So like very, very shortly I will start reading that one. But I did finish Next Level Love. So as we can see here, I actually finished it yesterday. It says right here, January 20th. If we go in, it was completed in 5 days. I did post all of my reviews and we have my reading progress chart. So this book, I should have finished it on Monday. I finished it yesterday on Tuesday, and I mentioned earlier in the video that I like the fact that when they calculate how many pages a day you should be reading, it does not count that Tuesday that the book comes out. So there was at least that. I did have a little bit of pages that I needed to read on Tuesday because I fell asleep on Monday and I did not get to finish it. But as you can also see here, from the day I started reading, I did not hit my goal on any single day, but I did finish it in time. But so that's what we can see here. We can also change to the daily pages, and as you can see, every day except for the 19th, I was under 100 pages a day. This is just one of those books that I did not rate as highly as Tidespeaker, and so because of that, it was taking me a little while to get into there. Gave it 3.5. I mean, it wasn't necessarily horrible. I already posted reviews, you guys can see that there. But so we have that. The next thing that I wanted to show you is just the fact that we have different reading statistics now. We do have 2 books completed. It has my daily reading over 7 reading days. And I think that's just because it sort of took me 4 days to read Next Level Love. It was over 5 days, but like one day I did not read that book specifically. So 768 pages over 7 reading days. I'll be very curious to see if this just goes for the whole year. It'll tell me maybe like how many days it took me to read all of my arcs. And my reading pace did change a little bit. Mine is currently at 110 pages a day based on those 7 reading days. And the days that I have read the most has also changed a little bit because I read different days during the week. Sunday is still the same at 203 pages, Saturday is now 199, and Monday is next top one at 188. That's based on the last 21 days, so that will change eventually as well. And then as you can see on my calendar, we have like, I read 46 pages on the 16th. I had 2 updates. So read about 80 pages on the 17th, didn't read anything on the 18th. I read 188 pages on Monday, and then I did end up finishing 70 more pages, it looks like. Yes, on that Tuesday, and then I did write my reviews on that day as well. So I just wanted to like stop in and show you guys that before we finalize the video, because this just took longer to put out than I thought. I am still using the app for all of my arcs, still really enjoying it. Will be reading Last First Kiss very, very shortly. Like I said, this is a new app that I have been trialing, and they have still been taking people that want to do this. I will leave everything linked down below that I can. I don't know when this is going to go wide or not, but I really do like the idea of this as a specific arc reading tracker. Again, you do not have to use it that way. I like that it uses those sort of like due dates to tell you what you should read, which is very helpful. I don't have to do any of that math myself. So this is definitely something that I can see myself using all year. I'm hoping this will keep me on track with my arcs better anyway, because I am somebody that starts off very, very strong with them and then sort of falls off, usually around big life changes or big reading slumps, which almost always seem to happen sometime in like July. So we'll see how it goes from there, but if you guys like this video, give it a thumbs up to let me know. Subscribe to this channel if you'd like to see more videos. I do have videos coming out Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays, so I will see you then. Bye!